The message arrived on a quiet Tuesday morning. Every screen on Earth, from smartphones to digital billboards, flickered simultaneously before displaying the same stark message in glowing blue text. To the primitive species of Sol 3, your existence has been deemed a threat to galactic stability. Submit to immediate quarantine and genetic modification, or face extinction. You have 30 Earth days to comply. The Galactic Council. In the Pentagon's crisis room, General James Miller stared at the giant display screen, his weathered face illuminated by the otherworldly blue glow. Around him, military leaders from every major nation sat in stunned silence. This wasn't how anyone had expected first contact to go. What are our options? The president's voice crackled through the secure video feed, steady despite the unprecedented situation. Miller straightened his uniform. Madam President, initial analysis suggests this is no hoax. The simultaneous worldwide broadcast required technology far beyond our capabilities. We're dealing with a legitimate alien threat. And they want us to, what? Give up our humanity? The Chinese military representative, General Li, spoke up. Ancient rivalries seemed insignificant now. That appears to be the case, Miller replied. Their terms are clear: either we accept genetic modification to become more stable by their standards, or they'll wipe us out. The Russian commander, General Petrov, leaned forward. They wouldn't make such demands without the power to back them up. But why give us 30 days? Why not strike immediately? A scientist named Dr. Thomas Anderson, brought in from NASA, cleared his throat. If I may, the delay suggests they're following some kind of protocol. They're powerful, yes, but they're also bureaucratic. They have rules they follow, even for extinction-level events. Then we use those 30 days, Miller declared. Every second of them. The next few hours saw the fastest international cooperation in human history. Ancient enemies became allies, as humanity faced its first truly external threat. Military satellites were repurposed to scan deep space, searching for signs of alien vessels. Every weapons research facility on Earth shifted to full capacity. The public reaction was surprisingly unified. Instead of panic, a grim determination spread across the globe. Humanity had spent its entire history fighting itself, now they had a common enemy. 7 days into the countdown, the first alien scout ships appeared in orbit. Sleek, crystalline vessels that seemed to bend light around them. Earth's most powerful telescopes revealed they were roughly the size of aircraft carriers, but with a design that defied conventional physics. Dr. Anderson's team worked around the clock, analyzing every scrap of data they could gather from the alien ships. They're not invincible, he reported during a global security briefing. Their technology is advanced, but it follows rules we can understand. Every system has weaknesses, we just need to find them. Meanwhile, in research facilities worldwide, humans did what they did best: innovate under pressure. Decades of theoretical weapons research suddenly had practical applications. Projects that had been deemed too risky or expensive were fast-tracked. They expect us to roll over, Miller told his international colleagues during a planning session. Their message, their approach, everything suggests they're used to species simply accepting their terms. They don't expect resistance. Then let's show them something new, General Li responded, sharing a rare smile with his former adversaries. The next 3 weeks saw the largest mobilization in human history. Every major military power shared their most classified technologies. Scientists collaborated across borders. Private industry converted to military production at unprecedented rates. The alien scouts maintained their position, presumably watching Earth's response. They made no aggressive moves, likely confident in their technological superiority. Their arrogance would prove costly. 28 days into the countdown, humanity launched its first test. A seemingly primitive nuclear missile was fired at one of the scout ships. The aliens didn't even bother to move, their energy shields easily absorbing the blast. But the nuclear explosion was just a delivery system. Hidden within the radioactive flash was a new type of quantum weapon, developed by combining Chinese theoretical research with American practical applications and Russian testing data. The alien ship's shield flickered for just a moment, but that moment told Earth everything they needed to know. Their shields operate on a predictable frequency, Dr. Anderson explained to the Global Command. Complex, yes, but not unbeatable. We can crack them, we just need more power. As the final hours of the countdown approached, Earth made no moves to comply with the Galactic Council's demands. Instead, military forces worldwide moved into position. Every nuclear silo was reprogrammed with the new quantum warheads. Experimental energy weapons were deployed to strategic locations. On the morning of the 30th day, General Miller stood in the command center, now surrounded by representatives from every major military power on Earth. The alien scout ships had been joined by larger vessels, presumably the invasion fleet. All forces report ready, his aide announced. Miller looked at the faces around him, former enemies now united in humanity's greatest fight. Send our response to the Galactic Council. Every broadcast system on Earth activated once again. This time, the message was from humanity. To the Galactic Council, humanity respectfully declines your offer. We will not be modified. We will not be quarantined. And if you choose to pursue this course of action, we will show you exactly why you considered us a threat in the first place. You have 1 hour to withdraw from Earth's orbit. This is our only warning. The war for humanity's survival was about to begin. The Galactic Council's response came not in words, but in action. As humanity's 1-hour ultimatum expired, the alien fleet split into attack formations. Their crystalline ships took positions above Earth's major cities, their hulls shimming with barely contained energy. In the Pentagon's command center, General Miller watched the tactical display with steady eyes. They're positioning exactly as we predicted, he noted. Arrogant bastards haven't even bothered to scan for our defensive installations. Dr. Anderson nodded, his fingers flying over a holographic keyboard. They're following standard invasion protocols. According to the data we gathered, they've used the same tactics on dozens of worlds. Why change what's always worked? Because this time, General Lee's voice came through the secure channel from Beijing, they're fighting humans. The alien ships launched their first strike, brilliant beams of energy that lit up Earth's atmosphere. They targeted military bases, government buildings, and power installations. By all rights, it should have been devastating. Instead, the beams struck specially designed quantum shields, technology reversed engineered from studying the alien scout ships. The shields weren't perfect, but they didn't need to be. They just needed to buy time. All stations, execute Operation Thunderstrike, Miller commanded. Across the globe, hidden installations activated. What appeared to be normal satellites revealed themselves as weapon platforms. Underground silos opened, but instead of traditional nuclear missiles, they launched something new, hybrid weapons combining human ingenuity with reversed-engineered alien technology. The first wave caught the Galactic Council forces completely off guard. Their shields, calibrated to stop conventional weapons, struggled against Earth's jerry-rigged quantum warheads. 3 alien ships above North America fell in the first minute, their crystalline hulls shattering as they plummeted from orbit. Multiple direct hits confirmed, Miller's aide reported. Enemy shields showing significant strain across all theaters. But the Galactic Council hadn't conquered hundreds of worlds by being unprepared. Their ships quickly adapted, their shields shifting to new frequencies. Their return fire intensified, and this time, some of it got through. Chicago took a direct hit, its quantum shield overloading. The alien energy weapon carved a smoking crater through downtown. But even this showed humanity's preparation. The city had been evacuated days ago, its population moved to underground shelters. Phase 2, Miller ordered. Let's show them what happens when you back humans into a corner. Across Earth's oceans, submarines surfaced. Not just American or Russian, but vessels from every major navy, all retrofitted with new weapons. They launched salvos of missiles that appeared primitive but contained cutting-edge quantum technology. At the same time, hidden bases in the Himalayas, Andes, and Rocky Mountains revealed massive energy cannons, the result of decades of classified research combined with insights gained from studying the alien scouts. The Galactic Council fleet found itself caught in a three-dimensional crossfire. Their superior technology meant nothing when faced with attacks from every conceivable angle, using weapons that shouldn't have existed on such a primitive world. Enemy fleet showing signs of disarray, Dr. Anderson reported, studying the sensor data. Their command and control structure isn't designed for this level of resistance. They expected a simple suppression action, not a real fight. In orbit, the alien ships began to break formation. Several attempted to retreat to higher orbits, only to run into another surprise: weaponized debris fields created by seemingly random satellite explosions in the days leading up to the battle. Beijing Defense Grid reports 3 more enemy ships destroyed, General Li announced. Their armor is strong, but it can't handle sustained quantum attacks. The battle raged for hours. Earth took hits, Paris's shield failed, London's backup generators were destroyed, and Sydney's harbor boiled from alien energy weapons. But humanity gave as good as it got. For every human city damaged, an alien ship was crippled or destroyed. By the time the sun set over the Pacific, the Galactic Council had lost a third of their invasion fleet. The remaining ships pulled back to high orbit, regrouping as they reassessed their strategy. In the Pentagon, Miller allowed himself a small smile. Status report? 15 major cities hit, sir, but civilian casualties are minimal thanks to the evacuation protocols. Shield network is at 60% capacity and holding. Weapons platforms report ammunition reserves at 75%. Multiple enemy ships confirmed destroyed or disabled. Dr. Anderson looked up from his displays. More importantly, we've proven something crucial: they can be beaten. Their technology isn't magic, it's just advanced. And we can understand it, counter it, and use it against them. What's their most likely next move? Miller asked. Based on their behavior, they'll call for reinforcements, Anderson replied. This was meant to be a simple subjugation mission. They didn't expect to face organized, effective resistance. They'll need to recalibrate their entire approach. General Li's voice carried a note of grim satisfaction. Let them come. Every hour they waste is another hour we have to analyze their technology and improve our defenses. Miller nodded, studying the tactical display showing the retreating alien ships. Send word to all commands, maintain defensive positions but do not pursue. Let them think we've exhausted ourselves. He turned to face the global command staff. The real war hasn't even started yet. This was just their first wave, testing our defenses. But we've shown them something important: Earth isn't some helpless primitive world they can simply conquer at will. And your message to the civilian population, sir? His aide asked. Tell them the truth. We've won the first battle, but the war is far from over. Tell them that humanity has bloodied the nose of the Galactic Council, and we're just getting started. As night fell across Earth, people emerged from their shelters to see the debris of alien ships burning up in the atmosphere, a deadly meteor shower that carried a simple message: humanity would not go quietly into the night. 2 weeks after Earth's first victory, the Galactic Council finally broke their silence. Their message boomed through the same communication channels as before, but this time, their tone had changed. Humans of Sol 3, the transmission began: your resistance is unprecedented but futile. You have earned the right to a swift death rather than subjugation. The main fleet approaches. Prepare for extinction. In the newly established Global Defense Command beneath the Rocky Mountains, General Miller shared a knowing look with his international colleagues. The bunker, carved deep into the mountain and protected by layers of both traditional and quantum shielding, had become humanity's primary military headquarters. "They're trying to frighten us with their main fleet," General Lee observed, his hologram flickering slightly. "But they've already shown us something crucial: they can be hurt." Dr. Anderson, now heading the Alien Technology Integration Division, pulled up a holographic display. "Our orbital sensors have detected a massive fleet emerging from hyperspace near Saturn. Early estimates suggest over 1,000 ships, ranging from carriers to destroyers." 1,000 ships against one planet, Miller mused. Sounds almost fair. The joke earned tired smiles from the command staff. The past 2 weeks had been spent in frenzied preparation. Every piece of destroyed alien technology had been studied, every tactic analyzed. Earth's defenses had been rebuilt and strengthened, incorporating new insights into alien technology. "The most significant development," Dr. Anderson continued, "is our understanding of their faster-than-light technology. We've managed to reverse-engineer their basic principles from the wreckage. We're not ready for full ships yet, but..." He pressed a button, and the holographic display showed a new weapon design. "We can now launch FTL missiles. They won't expect us to have this capability. Their shields aren't designed to stop weapons moving faster than light." "How many?" Miller asked. "We can arm about 20% of our missile stockpile with FTL drives. Not enough to stop their fleet, but enough to bloody them badly before they reach Earth orbit." General Petrov's hologram spoke up from his command post in the Ural Mountains. "We have also finished the mass driver installations on the Moon. The aliens don't know we had a secret lunar base. Their sensors are focused on Earth." The lunar base had been a closely guarded secret, a joint project between major spacefaring nations established years before the alien arrival. Now it had been converted into humanity's forward defense line. "What's the status of Project Phoenix?" Miller asked. Dr. Anderson's expression turned serious. "The prototype is ready. It's untested, and frankly, using it could be considered a war crime if we were fighting humans. But against their fleet..." He shrugged. "It will make them regret ever hearing of Earth." Alarms suddenly blared through the command center. The alien fleet had begun its advance, moving faster than expected. "They're not waiting," Miller announced. "All commands, execute Operation Hammerfall. I say again, Hammerfall is now active." Across the solar system, humanity's preparations came to fruition. The lunar base activated its mass drivers, launching chunks of moon rock accelerated to near-light speed. The alien fleet's forward elements were caught off guard, their shields designed to deflect energy weapons and conventional missiles, not hypervelocity rocks. At the same time, Earth's FTL missiles launched. They appeared behind the alien fleet, striking from what should have been impossible angles. Alien ships began exploding, their formations thrown into disarray. "Multiple confirmed kills," the tactical officer reported. "Enemy fleet is dispersing, attempting to create a defensive screen." But the Galactic Council commanders were experienced. They adjusted quickly, their fleet breaking into smaller, more manageable groups. They returned fire with weapons that distorted space itself, attempting to crack Earth's moon base. The lunar base's quantum shields held, barely. Its mass drivers continued firing, forcing the alien fleet to divide their attention. "Now," Miller ordered. "Launch Phoenix." From a hidden base in the Antarctic, a single missile launched. It looked unimpressive, barely the size of a conventional ICBM. The alien fleet largely ignored it, focusing on the more obvious threats. That was their final mistake. When the Phoenix missile detonated, it didn't create an explosion. Instead, it created a temporary quantum singularity, a black hole that lasted less than a second. But a second was all it needed. Dozens of alien ships, caught in its gravitational pull, were torn apart. Even after the singularity collapsed, the gravitational waves it created played havoc with alien shields and sensors. "Direct hit," Dr. Anderson reported, his voice tight. "Quantum distortion is within predicted parameters. Enemy fleet has lost approximately 30% of their ships." The alien response was immediate and furious. They launched a full assault, their weapons more devastating than anything seen in the first battle. Energy beams carved trenches across Earth's surface. Quantum torpedoes tested the limits of city shields. But humanity had learned from the first battle. Defenses were layered, redundant. When shields failed, physical bunkers remained. When alien ships concentrated their fire on one target, they exposed themselves to counterattacks from a dozen others. The battle raged for days. Earth's atmosphere became a light show of weapon discharges and exploding ships. The moon's surface was scarred by alien weapons, but its mass drivers kept firing. Human FTL missiles continued appearing in unexpected places, forcing the alien fleet to divide its attention. Finally, after a week of continuous combat, the alien fleet pulled back to regroup near Mars. Earth's defenses were battered but holding. More importantly, the Galactic Council had lost nearly half their ships. In the command center, Miller reviewed the casualty reports. The numbers were sobering, but far better than anyone had dared hope for when facing such overwhelming odds. "They'll be back," General Lee noted. "And they'll be better prepared." "So will we," Miller replied. "Every second we fight is another second our scientists spend studying their technology. We're learning faster than they can adapt." Dr. Anderson nodded. "We've already begun production on improved FTL missiles. The quantum shields are becoming more efficient. And Project Phoenix's success has opened new avenues of research. Most importantly," General Petrov added, "we've shown them something they've never seen before, a species that can not only fight back but can innovate during combat. We're not just resisting, we're evolving our tactics and technology in real time." Miller studied the tactical display showing the retreating alien fleet. "Send word to all commands, this isn't over. The Galactic Council thought they were punishing a primitive species. Instead, they've awakened a sleeping giant. And we're just getting started." As the alien fleet regrouped, Earth prepared for the next phase of the war. Humanity had proven they could survive. Now it was time to prove they could win. 3 months after repelling the main fleet's assault, humanity was ready to launch its boldest move yet. In a hidden shipyard beneath the Pacific Ocean, Earth's first true starship was nearing completion. The vessel, named Retribution, represented everything humanity had learned from the conflict. "She's not pretty," General Miller admitted, standing in the underwater observation deck with Dr. Anderson and other military leaders. Through the reinforced windows, they could see the massive ship taking shape. Its hull was a patchwork of Earth metals and salvaged alien materials, bristling with weapons both human and hybrid in design. "Beauty wasn't the goal," Dr. Anderson replied, checking readings on his tablet. "We built her to fight. Every piece of technology we've reverse-engineered, every lesson we've learned about alien weaknesses, it's all gone into this ship." The Retribution was humanity's answer to the Galactic Council's superiority. While not as elegant as alien vessels, it carried weapons they'd never seen before, including scaled-up versions of the Phoenix device that had proved so devastating in the previous battle. "What's the status of the crew training?" General Lee asked through his hologram connection. "Complete," Miller answered. "We've got our best pilots, engineers, and combat specialists. They've spent the last 2 months in simulators based on captured alien tech. They're as ready as they'll ever be." The plan was ambitious, perhaps even crazy. But as Dr. Anderson had pointed out, crazy was humanity's specialty. Intelligence gathered from captured alien databases had revealed the location of a major Galactic Council supply depot in a nearby star system. It would be humanity's first target. Operation Spearpoint begins in 12 hours, Miller announced to the assembled command staff. All supporting elements are in position. Those supporting elements included Earth's growing fleet of converted satellites, now armed with FTL weapons, and the lunar base, which had been upgraded to serve as a forward command center. But the real surprise was waiting in the asteroid belt, dozens of stealth platforms that had been quietly constructed and positioned over the past months. The Retribution's first mission would be the opening move in humanity's new strategy. No longer content to simply defend Earth, they would take the fight to the enemy. 12 hours later, Miller stood on the Retribution's bridge. The command center was a hybrid of human and alien design, holographic displays alongside traditional screens, quantum computers working in parallel with human systems. All stations report ready, his bridge officer announced. FTL drive is spooled up. Weapons are hot. Stealth systems are engaged. Miller took a deep breath. This was the moment that would prove whether humanity could truly compete with the Galactic Council on their own terms. Launch, he ordered. The Retribution's FTL drive engaged, technology that would have seemed like magic just months ago now under human control. The ship slipped through spacetime, crossing light years in moments. They emerged near their target, a massive space station serving as a forward supply base for the Galactic Council's forces. The alien facility was heavily defended, but its commanders had grown complacent. They weren't expecting an attack, and certainly not from a species that shouldn't have FTL capability. Multiple enemy contacts, the sensor officer reported. Defensive platforms are active, but their weapons aren't charged. They haven't spotted us yet. The Retribution stealth systems, derived from studying the alien scout ship's cloaking technology, were holding. They moved closer, positioning themselves for the perfect strike. Execute attack pattern Delta, Miller commanded. All weapons, free to engage. The Retribution revealed itself in a storm of fire. Its main guns, hybrid weapons combining human nuclear technology with alien energy systems, struck first, overwhelming the station's outer shields. FTL missiles appeared inside the defensive perimeter, their warheads enhanced with quantum singularity technology. The alien response was chaos. Defensive platforms tried to target the Retribution, but the ship's quantum shields, more advanced than anything the Council had encountered, held firm. Enemy ships scrambled to launch, but they were too slow. Station's primary shields are down, Tactical reported. Secondary defenses failing. Enemy vessels are launching, but they're disorganized. That's when the second phase of the attack began. The stealth platforms in Earth's asteroid belt, now linked to the Retribution through quantum entanglement communications, launched their payloads. Thousands of FTL missiles appeared around the station, striking from every conceivable angle. The station's defenses crumbled. Secondary explosions rippled through its structure as supply pods and fuel tanks detonated. The few alien ships that had managed to launch found themselves caught between the Retribution's main guns and waves of missiles. Station critical systems are failing, sensors reported. Enemy ships are attempting to retreat. Miller watched the tactical display with grim satisfaction. Let them go. We want survivors to report what happened here. The entire battle had lasted less than 30 minutes. When it was over, the Galactic Council's primary forward supply base was an expanding cloud of debris. The few surviving alien ships had fled into FTL, carrying word of humanity's devastating counterattack. Damage report? Miller asked. Minimal, sir. Shields held at 60%. All weapons systems functioning. FTL drive is ready for return jump. Before they left, Miller ordered a transmission broadcast on all frequencies the Council used, to the Galactic Council. Consider this humanity's formal response to your extinction order. We are no longer content to simply defend our world. You brought war to Earth. Now we bring it to you. This is only the beginning. The Retribution jumped back to Earth, leaving behind a clear message: humanity wasn't just fighting for survival anymore. They were fighting to win. In the aftermath, the Global Defense Command received the after-action reports with satisfaction. The mission had achieved all its objectives, destroying a vital enemy supply line, proving human FTL technology in combat, and most importantly, showing the Galactic Council that Earth was no longer just defending. What's the status of the other ships? General Lee asked during the debriefing. Dr. Anderson pulled up a holographic display showing several underwater and lunar construction yards. 3 more vessels will be ready within the month. Each one incorporating improvements based on what we learned today. Miller nodded, studying the tactical data from the raid. The Council thought they were dealing with primitives who would either submit or be easily crushed. Instead, they've created something they've never faced before, an enemy that can match their technology while thinking in ways they can't predict. The war was entering a new phase. Humanity had proven they could take the fight to the enemy. Now it was time to show the Galactic Council exactly how dangerous a primitive species could be. 6 months after the Retribution's first raid, the war had transformed completely. Earth's fleet had grown to 20 ships, each more advanced than the last. Humanity's raids had disrupted Galactic Council supply lines across 3 sectors, destroying shipyards and forcing them to divert massive resources to defend their territory. But now, humanity was ready for their endgame. In the command center of the EFS Retribution, now the flagship of Earth's growing fleet, General Miller studied the holographic display showing their most ambitious target yet, the Galactic Council's central administrative world. All ships report ready, his tactical officer announced. The entire fleet is in position. Around them, Earth's 20 warships hung in the void, their hybrid hulls reflecting distant starlight. Each vessel represented the peak of human innovation, combining reverse-engineered alien technology with humanity's unique approach to warfare. Dr. Anderson, status of the package? Miller asked. The scientist, now serving as the fleet's chief technical officer, checked his readings. The quantum envelope is stable. Once deployed, it will do exactly what we calculated. What they had planned wasn't just an attack, it was a statement. After months of studying Council communications and technology, humanity had discovered something the aliens had never considered: their entire civilization depended on a standardized FTL communication network. All ships, commence Operation Kingfall, Miller ordered. The fleet jumped in perfect synchronization, emerging around the Council's capital world. Unlike their previous raids, this wasn't a hit-and-run mission. This time, they were here to end the war. The alien defense fleet responded immediately, hundreds of ships moving to protect their administrative center. But humanity had planned for this. Execute Phase 1, Miller commanded. From the Retribution's launch bays, thousands of small objects deployed. They looked like debris, barely larger than satellites. The alien fleet ignored them, focusing on the more obvious threat of Earth's warships. That was their mistake. Quantum network activated, Dr. Anderson reported. Field generation in 3, 2, 1. The small objects activated simultaneously, creating an interlocking field of quantum disruption. Suddenly, every FTL communication link in the system went dead. The Council fleet's coordinated defense immediately began to fall apart. Phase 2, Miller ordered. Earth's fleet split into predetermined attack groups, each targeting specific weaknesses they'd identified in Council ship designs. The Retribution led the charge, its main guns firing modified Phoenix devices, creating microsingularities that torn through alien formations. The Council fleet was massive, but they were fighting blind and divided. Without their FTL communications, each ship had to act independently. Against a human fleet designed to exploit exactly this weakness, they began to fall. "Sir," the communications officer called out, "we're receiving a transmission from the surface. The Council is requesting parley." Miller allowed himself a small smile. "Put them through." The holographic display showed a collection of alien beings, the actual Council members who had ordered Earth's extinction. They looked less impressive than their earlier threats had suggested. "This is impossible," one of them declared. "Your species was primitive. You had no FTL capability, no quantum technology." "6 months ago, you were right," Miller replied. "But you made a crucial mistake. You didn't just attack humanity, you challenged us. Every advancement you see here came from studying your own technology, finding its flaws, and improving upon it. You gave us the tools of our victory." "What are your terms?" another Council member asked, their earlier arrogance replaced by cautious respect. Miller glanced at Dr. Anderson, who nodded. They had prepared for this moment. "First, Earth and the Sol system are hereby declared a sovereign territory, free from Council authority. Second, you will acknowledge humanity's right to develop without interference. Third, you will share your technological database with us, not as conquerors, but as equals." He paused, letting his next words carry weight. "In return, we'll deactivate the quantum disruption field and share our innovations with you. Including how we managed to improve upon your technology so quickly. Because that's the real difference between us. You see advancement as a way to dominate. We see it as a way to grow." The Council members conferred among themselves. They had no choice, and they knew it. Without their FTL communication network, their entire civilization would begin to crumble within days. "We accept your terms," they finally announced. Within hours, formal treaties were being drafted. Earth's fleet maintained its position, the quantum disruption field ensuring compliance. But Miller knew this was more than just a military victory. "Incoming transmission from Earth Command," his communications officer reported. The holographic display showed the combined Earth leadership, military commanders, scientists, and political leaders who had guided humanity through this crisis. "Well done, General," the President spoke for them all. "Thanks to you and your fleet, Earth is not just safe, we've earned our place among the stars." Dr. Anderson was already reviewing the incoming Council technological database. "Their fundamental research is incredible," he reported. "But they stopped innovating centuries ago. They never thought to combine technologies the way we did, never pushed beyond their established principles. That's why we won," Miller realized. "Not just because we fought back, but because we never stopped thinking, never stopped trying new approaches. Our greatest weapon wasn't our technology, it was our creativity." The war that had begun with an extinction order had ended with humanity proving itself on the galactic stage. In trying to destroy Earth, the Council had instead forced humanity to achieve advances that might have taken centuries otherwise. As the Earth fleet maintained its guard position, Miller drafted one final message to be broadcast across all Council frequencies. "To all civilizations under Galactic Council authority, today marks a new era. Earth doesn't seek dominion or control. We seek partnership, innovation, and progress. The Council tried to exterminate us for being unstable. Instead, they proved that adaptation and change are not weaknesses, they are the keys to survival. Remember this day not as a conquest, but as the moment the galaxy learned that true strength lies not in power, but in the ability to grow beyond your limitations." Hours later, as the formal peace accords were being signed, Miller stood on the Retribution's observation deck with Dr. Anderson, watching the distant stars. "What do you think they learned from all this?" Anderson asked. Miller considered the question. "Hopefully, that the next time they encounter a primitive species, they'll offer a hand of friendship instead of an extinction order." He smiled. "And if they don't, well, now they know what happens when you back humanity into a corner." The war was over. Earth had not just survived, it had emerged stronger, more united, and ready to take its place among the stars. The species that the Council had deemed too unstable to exist had proven that adaptability, innovation, and determination were the true measures of civilization. Humanity's next great adventure was just beginning.